Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Replayer Podcast, a weekly video game podcast where we talk about video games and what went down on the Retro Replay YouTube channel. I'm Pagan, and I'm back in the host chair this week. Woo! Feels good. I have had a 3-week hiatus because other things. And joining me today is my lovely co-host, Dan Mars.
What's up, everybody?
Woo! And also joining us today is the beautiful Nova.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Nova.
Hi,
How are
Nova.
you?
I'm doing good today. How are you guys?
I'm good. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. It's very nice to be here for the first time.
Oh, well, we really like having you here.
Oh,
Oh,
Yay.
I'm really excited to be here because I've been listening to the podcast and you guys do a really good job. So
Thank you.
it's really fun to be here.
Thank you. Oh, that's so nice, Dan. Somebody listens to our podcast.
Yay, somebody.
Hey, somebody actually listens. That's great.
So you like having Pagan back in the hosting seat?
Yeah. It's weird. It's weird. I feel like I'm sweaty.
A little nervous?
Yeah, I'm super nervous about actually having to
Well, you did an amazing
host.
job with the first episode, and then I got pushed into the driver's seat for a couple of weeks in a row there.
You did. And you did an excellent job. Thank you so much, Dan.
But you're both amazing at hosting, though. Let's be real.
Oh, thanks, Nova. Shout out. I think it's weird, sitting back in the hosting seat, actually having some sort of control over the podcast. It's really strange. Being a guest on it is so nice, and it's very chill and relaxed. Whereas a host is checking on all sorts of things. But it is nice. It's nice to have it back. And for those of you who are listening, Dan was doing the hosting for a couple of weeks there. But we are co-hosts, and we will be alternating the co-host role. So next week we should have Dan hosting.
Most likely.
Most likely, hopefully.
We'll see.
Hope nothing comes through that. Yeah. All right. Okay. So Nova, you're in Amsterdam. You're in Netherlands.
I am in the Netherlands. I'm very, very far away from Amsterdam. I'm closer to the German border, actually.
My bad.
Oh, that's okay. I mean, there has been talk about an Amsterdam meetup with a couple of people, so I can see where the confusion comes from.
My mom lives in Germany.
Yeah, I'm very, very near Germany. It's like 40 minutes and I'm across the border, basically.
My mom was actually just up in that area. She sent me a postcard from there.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh,
do you know what
that's so
area she was?
Yeah, I got the postcard. It was from
Reaches over to podcast or postcard. Yeah.
Nord's Heelbad. I can't pronounce it.
That doesn't mean anything to me.
She doesn't
I don't know. It was
probably
it was the border between
language that-
Denmark and the Netherlands, I think.
It must have been up near Groningen or Friesland or something.
Mm-hmm. Anyways.
Probably. You probably don't know what that means. It's
Side
okay.
note, tangent. No, that's pretty cool. But is it you're in the evening like me now, right? At the moment, it's 5:00 here in Ireland.
For me, it's now 6 o'clock
Oh, okay.
in the
so
evening.
No worries.
So it's like an hour ahead of you guys.
Dan is in the past. Dan
Yeah.
is living in the past right now. I think it's in
6
the morning
hours.
for you time.
It is now noon.
Noon. Enjoy your Saturday while you can.
Trying to.
Exactly.
It goes so fast.
It goes way too fast, to be honest.
Yeah. I always find that, though. I find Saturdays just fly past. Sundays, the morning is great. And then as soon as it hits 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, something like that, the day is gone. And then you're getting ready for work on Monday. And it's like, why did this happen to me? Why does the weekend go so slow?
Exactly.
Yeah. I have a huge bone to pick with whoever decided to work 5 days a week and have 2 days a week off. Whoever that person is needs to sprain their ankles
Capitalism.
and spill milk in their car and forget about it. I don't like that person, whoever thought about that. 5
neither.
days, you work 5 days doing, likely the majority of us, something that we don't like to do or something that we don't want to do full time, and yet we do it anyway because we need the money. And then 2 days a week you can get off and do whatever the hell you want. Not that you can get off, but you have off and you can do whatever you want.
But I mean, even then, you have stuff to do, like housework and grocery shopping, and it's you basically only have one real day of weekend if you include all the chores you have to do around the house and stuff.
Yeah, great. The whole of my Saturday was pretty much just tidying and cleaning and restocking the fridge and all this kind of stuff. So It's gone practically. And now the podcast, though. The podcast is fine. The podcast is the end of my Saturday, which is a nice way to round off the evening, I suppose.
It's how I start my weekend.
It is how you start your weekend. Oh man, I wish I lived in the past like you, Darren. We live in the future. Saturday was fine. Like nothing.
Speaking of time travel, segue into later discussions.
Speaking of time travel,
I was going to point that out, but I figured you guys should probably point it out.
No, it was a good segue. But look, let's move on. So if we're all sitting nice and comfortably, let's get on with the show, and that will bring us nicely on to the
What?
For those of you who don't know, Retro Replay is a YouTube channel hosted by Troy Baker and Noah North and produced by Red Bear Films. Their main show is basically a trip back in time where they play the retro games of yesteryear. So they're kind of doing a little bit of time travel there. We are here to rewind and discuss the content of those recent uploads, as well as venture on our own many tangents. So thank you so much for joining us. That's just a quick snippet of what we're all about here.
First off,
but this
hang on. I gotta give you a little... That was good. A little slow clap.
The slow clap. Like, there's always that one person. Do you know what? Actually, it's a really typical thing where somebody it's a really typical, Irish thing where you land, like they land a plane, and as soon as they land, there's always one person that's just like. And you're like, why are you clapping? That guy literally did his job and didn't kill us. Like,
is that like the people who clap in movie theaters?
Probably. Actually, do you know? I've never been in a movie theater where somebody's clapped.
Oh, I get that all the time. People clap in the movie theaters.
What?
It must be an American thing then, maybe, because I've never had anyone do that here either. Like even with last year with the Avengers film, I forgot, Infinity Wars. Not even then people were clapping.
Yeah.
But it must be...
Like, the actors can't hear you, right? This isn't a Broadway show.
Hey, morons! Stop being a Neanderthal. They can't hear you. I don't know. I don't think that's a thing here. I mean, the most reactive show that I've probably ever seen was probably a horror movie where people are like really scared or crying or something, and then there's other people that would make fun of you for that. Like, that's probably the most reactive theater that I've been in.
Now that I think about it, I feel like it's a narcissistic thing, because the people aren't clapping for the show. They're not clapping for the actors and the performance they just witnessed. They're clapping so other people know that they appreciated it.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a narcissistic thing.
In-depth psychology right there.
Get everything on this podcast.
Yeah, we do. We touch all bases. We like to have our hand in all the pies. Like, we just need to make sure everything's covered, just in case someone listening is a psychologist or something. Let's talk about your narcissism.
Present company excluded.
Yeah, present company excluded. No, I don't know. I feel like that slow clap thing is generally a thing that some Irish people used to do on airplanes. And to be fair, I understand it if that flight was really bumpy, or if the landing was really harsh and they landed it okay, or like in severe conditions, then you can clap that guy, because whoever the pilot is, male or female, that person got us here safely and they had some issue to deal with. Like, if you had to fly a plane in a storm or something and you managed to land it okay, I will clap for that. But just a normal landing, like, that's okay. You don't need to clap. It's okay. They just did their jobs. Their job is difficult, I acknowledge, but also, like, nobody claps for me when I make a sale. So like, I make a sale and nobody's just like, well done.
There should be a guy.
Yeah, I shouldn't make a soundbite. Like,
that would be a great motivator though, to have someone stand beside you when you make a sale and just go clap, clap, clap.
It's not even that like encouraging, like, good job. It's more just like a, well done. You made a sale. Congratulations. Like, it's that really slow, like, judgmental. There's a word that I'm looking for there, but I can't think of what it is now. But it's one of those patronizing claps. That's what it is, a patronizing clap. Tangents. All right, so going back to the show. Usually Retro Replay
is hard.
Parsing is hard. How do we do this again? Dan, help. So the show was this. I guess it was a little different this week. Usually, Retro Replay upload two shows a week, and this week we only got one show. Technically two if you count the Gone Dark quote unquote episode-ish announcement thing. So basically, they ended their run of Uncharted Drake's Fortune, where Nolan North was playing a video game that he'd never played before, but he had acted in. And after 16 long weeks, they have now, quote, gone dark, end quote. Which just means they're going to be taking a break from Nolan's playthroughs for a couple of weeks. And then they talked about, like, they kind of gave us a snippet that they're going to, I mean, they're definitely going to do Uncharted 2, but they've put something else in there to sort of break the time, which is the VR. I think Nolan's going to try VR for the first time, and he's never done that, which is going to be super interesting. I am a big fan of VR. Do you have a VR set, Nova? Do you play VR? Do you?
No, I don't have a VR set, unfortunately. I am looking in investing in one, but you know, money is a problem. But my brother, he has an Oculus Rift, I think.
Oh yes.
One of those things, and anyway, and I've played the thing. I've played VR on his set, and it's something else entirely. It's still, it reminds me a little bit of the classic Star Trek holodecks, you know, from the series
Sure.
and stuff.
I'm not a Trekkie, so I don't know. Like, you're more than welcome to explain it or reference it. I'm sure there are other people who will get it.
I hope so. Otherwise, I'm going to be alone in this. No. I like it. I mean, obviously, I can't afford a set, but it's really fun to me.
Yeah, Dan, do you have one?
I do not have any virtual headsets or equipment or anything. I had a Virtual Boy once upon a time, like 12 years ago.
A Virtual Boy? What's that?
You don't know what a Virtual Boy is?
I don't either.
It was Nintendo's stab at virtual reality back in like the late 90s. They came out with a system that was a virtual. It was a big visor you put on your face, and everything was red vector lines.
No, I didn't see that at all.
You need to Google that.
I will Google it. Weird. No, I mean, we have a PlayStation VR. I bought it over in the States. I was on holiday, and it was a Christmas present for the fiance. Yeah. So it was cool. It was I can totally understand yourself, though, Nova. Like, it was a hefty bit of money to part with, but the time I had it, I didn't have big responsibilities, so I had the spare cash. Now I'm looking to sell it. No, not really. I'm starting to pawn off all of our stuff. No.
I've been wanting to get a PlayStation VR for a while. I was looking at getting one last year with my roommate. We were talking about like going halvesies on it and buying one.
Has the price dropped a lot?
Not really. It's still up there.
Yeah.
We were. I was looking at getting a pre-owned one, but then realized it wasn't super worth it to get pre-owned. I wanted to play Beat Saber and Tetris Effect. That was getting rave reviews.
So I've not played Tetris Effect, but we do have Beat Saber, and it is excellent. But sweaty excellence. And Super Hot. Super Hot is probably my favorite game on VR, and I hope they play something a little bit more than the VR demo, because that seems to be what they showed us in the snippet, was that VR demo where they're being submerged into the sea, and he sees sharks and jellyfish and all this kind of stuff, which is an amazing little demo. But like, I'd really hope that they're going to actually sit in on some really great VR games like Super Hot or.
We're only getting the one episode, aren't we?
Is it just the one?
I don't know. It's hard to. They didn't give us enough detail. It seemed like they're in the Gone Dark preview. They said they're going to come back with the VR episode, and then they said they're going to follow up with Uncharted, but they weren't really clear on if we're going to get more than one episode of VR, or if it's just going to be the one, and then Uncharted's going to start.
To be fair, the VR games, well, a lot of them are not that long anyway. So I mean, you could clear it in a couple of minutes, or try various different ones in one sitting. But yeah, my favorite is probably Super Hot and Rush of Blood Until Dawn. I think we spoke about that. Was it last week or the week before?
Yeah, you and Greg were talking about it.
Oh man, what a great game! Like, what a great game! Like, to be fair, it's because I know what now. Why we were talking about it. It was because of the Iron Man, right? It was because they have an Iron Man VR game, and it's the gravity thing that I have an issue with. Because if you're in anti-gravity, if you're flying, it makes you feel like seasick, which
Right.
makes me feel seasick. Whereas Rush of Blood and Super Hot are all grounded games. Like Super Hot, you don't physically move anywhere. You can move your head, and your arms.
Because those games are kind of like you're weightless, so your equilibrium gets thrown off, and you
Yes.
feel like you're
Oh,
not grounded
yeah.
to anything.
Yeah, and it's the worst feeling. Like you could be on it for less than 30 seconds and be like, "Oh my god, I'm done for the day," and that just knocks you out for the night. Then you can't enjoy anything on
You
VR.
instantly turn into Nolan that one time when he got drunk as a kid and tried to jump off the cabinet, and his stomach didn't go with him.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly how you feel. You're just like, "Oh my god!" Like your stomach is still standing in the spot you were playing VR, but now you're sitting on the couch, being like, "I can never play VR again." But yeah, like I had left a comment and I said like something about the hype of VR, and I really hope they played Rush of Blood, and Retro Replay did like it, so I'm like, oh please, just put Rush of Blood in there somewhere. Do a Halloween episode and do Rush of Blood. That is hilarious. That game is so good.
But isn't that a horror game though?
Well, I mean, it is, but it isn't. I mean, it's so.
You're not scared by it?
Yeah, it's so crazily unrealistic, and it's so out there that you really aren't scared by it. It's just it's a point and shoot. That's all it is. It's just a point and shoot. But you're on a roller coaster. Oh. No, Nova, you have to try this game.
I really want to, because I mean it's Until Dawn. I love the crap out of Until Dawn.
Yeah.
Even though it's scared the heck out of me multiple occasions.
Same.
There's this one memory I've got about playing it that was, you know that bit in the mines with, I think you walk around as Emily at that point, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And you have the thing drop down from the ceiling, and it's like a close-up of it screaming. I think it's when you reach an intersection, you have to choose where you go left or right, and then the Wendigo drops down.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that point?
Yeah.
I was on a call with a friend at that time, and she was watching me play because I was screen sharing. And we were just happily chatting away, and I knew the moment was coming because I've seen Markiplier play at that time, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I knew it was coming, but because I was so engaged with the conversation, I forgot that it was going to happen. So it happens. I literally screamed in shock, and my friend just started laughing so hard for like 10 minutes afterwards, because I'm not like a screamer when I play games with like horror elements.
But I am. I think anybody who's watched my Twitch channel will know that I am not a horror gamer, and I scream at pretty much anything. I walked into a door frame at one point and it freaked me out. Like, what's wrong with me? But you know what? I totally agree, Nova. Like, Until Dawn was such a fantastic game. I will say this though. It scared the heck out of me, as it would, up until a certain point. Because as soon as they started bringing in the Wendigo idea, then I was like, okay, I'm done. Like,
I into Until Dawn.
Oh, really? Not at all?
Didn't really do it for me.
Oh. Are you so, like, desensitized to it, though? Like, are you so desensitized to, like, horror games?
I'm pretty desensitized, but I love horror games. I play them constantly. But, like, nothing scares me anymore.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's kind of the problem when I try to stream horror games because I love horror games so much, but I have no reaction when things happen. I'm just like, oh, whoops, oh no, scary.
I will kind of agree with Dan though. I mean, I love the game, just the whole aspect of it that it's someone in the group doing everything. But bring in Wendigo, like I love anything supernatural, like werewolves, vampires. I love that kind of mythology.
Yeah.
But having that in the game, it's I felt it was kind of an Uncharted rip-off, if I'm honest. A Drake's Fortune rip-off.
Yeah, so did I.
I mean, Wendigos were kind of modeled after I forgot the name of the slippery
naked guys.
Slippery naked guys, yeah. Because they were kind of they look kind of similar in model style. Like I always call them Gollum. Like every kind of type of that guy, I call them Gollum. Because they look kind of similar. So for me, it felt like, oh yes, Wendigos, awesome. But it was also like, these developers seem like they love Drake's Fortune a lot.
I kind of just felt like, I don't know, that I was probably being made a fool of, because like I'm so sorry for anybody who's never played Until Dawn, and we were totally ruining this game on you. Like, turn it off. Like, leave the podcast, go play that game, and come back. No, but like I kind of felt like not a. I just kind of felt like a
Speaking of which,
wah.
did you go play Silent Hill yet?
No. Are you kidding me? I can barely get through
Do it.
Layers of Fear as if I'm gonna go and play Silent Hill. Hell no. PT demo was enough for me to give me a taste of what that could have been like. I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm out.
Depends on which Silent Hill, though. I played Downfall, but that wasn't really that scary.
No, I'm talking about the originals, like the first 3.
No, I've never been. Are they done in like third person or first person?
They're third person.
Okay, well, I mean, that's not too bad. I prefer
that.
things in. No, yeah, I do say that. If I'm gonna play something horror, I would prefer if it was in third person, like playing Layers of Fear, which
Actually,
is
most of my favorite horror games are third person.
Really, I don't. Yeah, I feel it's scary regardless. Like, doesn't matter if it's third or first person. It's scary regardless. I just feel like I can cope with it better if it's third person. Like I'll cope with it a lot better. Because you can see the character and actually. The thing is though, like I was never able to play Resi. Resident Evils, any of those Resident Evils, I've never been able to play. I've tried to play 4, and is it 4? Adam will probably correct me on that later. We were playing it. It's on PlayStation 2, I think. And I think I got to a point where someone is. So we're in a house first, and then you have to leave the house, and there's a guy, I think, with a chainsaw.
That was probably 4, yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, as you leave the house, you're down a corridor, and he's coming. And I opened the door, and I got there, and it's like an outside, almost pathway or tunnel or something. And I got to the door, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't get out of a pause screen. I couldn't get my courage to open the door, because once I found out and he killed me, I was like, no, I'm done.
Okay, so it was the fear was what was keeping you from going forward.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, because I mean, someone had recently told me that like even Layers of Fear is like a clearable game in 3 hours, like less than 3 hours if you just actually go through.
Pausing every time you get scared.
Yeah. Yeah. Whereas if anybody's watched my Twitch stream, we all know that I pause every time there's a jump scare, and I probably stay in there for about 5 minutes talking to people about why I'm so scared to play this game.
Because you gotta like clear your head and not be scared anymore.
Yeah. How do you know my tactic? Yeah, because it's terrifying. And I've streamed 3+ hours now. I think I've streamed almost 4 hours. And
half of which is just the pause screen.
Yeah. Legit, no joke. That's definitely it. Like I spent 20+ minutes in the pause screen on I think my second stream, because it was just terrifying, and I was playing it on my own, to be fair. So I spent a good 20 minutes. The last 20 minutes of that stream was just me in the chat talking to people, because I am such a bitch baby that I'm super scared of all of this.
You're not the only one though. I can't handle jump scares either. Like, if I know it's coming, then I'm fine. But the example I explained with the Emily moment in Until Dawn, or even like I've been playing the Resident Evil 2 remake. It's like, no, I'm good.
I'm good. No way. I can't believe you even attempted that. I saw the trailers for that, like because they remade it. I was like, no, I'm okay.
Well, a friend of mine talked me into it, and because she is absolutely in love with Leon Kennedy, she was like, "No, you need to play it." And I was like, "Yeah, but it's not voiced by Matt Mercer anymore." Okay, fine, I'll try it. I haven't even got to a certain event yet in that game, but already I can't finish it.
Breaking it? Yeah, no, I can't. You played it, Dan?
Oh yeah, I had that game from day one. I blasted through. I beat the Leon's campaign in the first 2 days I had it, and then I finished Claire's campaign, I think, in the week after that. I've streamed it all, and it's all on my YouTube channel.
Oh shoot, I'll have to check. I didn't see that. Yeah, no. Like, no. I've played the only Resi game that I've played the beginning of Resident Evil 7.
But you also said you were just playing 4 too, liar.
Oh well, yeah, no, I've played that, but I mean, to be fair, I only played like bits. I've played the beginning of that game, but as soon as I got to that door and I was in the house, and there's like a save phone, right, where you save, and you're going to go outside the door and that guy with the chainsaw come in, I'm like, no, I'm out of this game. And that's probably only like an hour into it, less than.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the first encounter where you start getting attacked by enemies.
Yeah. Like it's the first time you encounter an enemy, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna play this anymore.
Well, hopefully we get some good VR scares when Nolan is gonna be playing that VR under the water, under the sea game. Which what is it called? The Deep.
Yeah, something like that. Into the Deep. I don't know.
If he like freaks out when the shark comes at him and tries to punch it, I'll die laughing.
That would be so fun. Like we've had so many. One of the best features, I guess, of having a VR set at home is like getting my mom to play it, or getting Adam's folks to play it, or anybody who's like kind of not into games at all, and they are having it like at a Christmas party or something like that. Like everyone gets a go of it, and we do that demo because it is so realistic in terms of like things are coming at you. Like you definitely feel like you could touch that stuff. That was pretty funny. Or the demo, the Resident Evil demo in VR with the kitchen. Did anybody see that?
Oh yeah.
No.
I know.
So okay. So Nova, for yourself, like you're sitting on a chair, in a kitchen, and you're strapped to it and stuff like that, and someone else is trying to help you, I guess. But it's kind of filled with jump scares. It does give you a little bit of a story, and it shows you, and you're playing as a certain thing, and it's really nice jump scare, especially at the end. So it's a good one to play at Christmas parties or at any social gatherings or family get-togethers where you're like, hey, Uncle Dan, you want to put on a VR and have a go? And it's fairly hilarious. So I think those kind of reactions I'm looking forward to from Nolan if we get them. I'm not quite sure what to expect from Nolan with VR.
I mean, I've never played the deep like the shark segment, but I have a feeling like that shark is going to be a jump scare.
It is a little bit of a jump scare in the actual demo, but it's not like it's not a jump scare that's almost, it feels unintentional. It's almost like you just didn't notice it, and you're like, whoa, oh my god, that's there
okay.
now. I didn't see that. That's how I felt when I played it, because it just feels like it comes out of nowhere, and you're like, whoa, oh, like I was too busy watching everything else and stuff was glowing, and I was like, oh, this is pretty. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh shit, where did you come from? So I feel like it's that kind of jump scare. Unless I'm thinking of the wrong demo, or unless they're playing a different version. In which case, I'd be very interested to see him poop his pants.
Wear your brown pants.
Yeah, wear the brown pants, Nolan. Just make sure. We segued onto that from Gone Dark. That's how the show works, everybody. Welcome to the party, pal. Like, this is
Welcome
where...
to the party, pal.
Welcome to the party, pal. It's random quotes and tangents, and this is the area we go on. Yeah, but going back to the fact that they've gone dark and they're going to do the VR, it's exciting to see the VR, and I'm excited for where they're going to go with the Uncharted 2, because I believe now they're going to have more guests. I know Emily Rose is probably going to be on there. Richard McGonigal is going to be on there. I would love if Graham McTavish was on there.
Yes, same.
That would be something that I'd like to see if they put him on the show eventually. Like, that would be cool. Or Claudia Black. Or Laura Bailey, like anybody, just put them on.
I would love to see Steve Valentine be on, who played Flynn.
Oh yeah,
I would love to hear his insight on how he thinks, like what Flynn's character is.
Oh, I would agree. Like, I mean, I'm replaying it now, and like, oh, Flynn is so annoying. You're like, dog, you backstabber. Like, yeah, it sounds really good, and I do love Chloe though. Claudia Black needs to be on there, because Chloe is my bae.
Chloe's the best.
Yeah, she really is the best. So I'd love to see her on the show, actually. I had been looking forward to Mondays though, like, because Monday's always hard, especially if you're in a job like that you're not super motivated for, or if it's just like, it's a daily routine, and everyone has Monday blues because you've just come off the weekend and all that kind of stuff. So I always like had that, like, now for 16 weeks, I guess, is because it was premiering on a Monday. I was like, oh, sweet, this is something I could look forward to on a Monday now. So when it was the bank holiday Monday and they announced that they've gone dark, I was like, Why? Why would you do this to me? You've taken away like 2 weeks of Mondays that I have to sit through without you guys.
Weirdly enough, it doesn't bother me that much because the timing and when they air the show is I'm still at work when they do, so it's hard for me to actually watch it.
What time is it for you there?
When they air, it's 3:00.
Oh, right. So you're literally just coming out of work, like you're.
I have half an hour because I usually get off of work at 3:30. So a lot of times I'll kind of skate at work and watch for half an hour, and then like, okay, I got to run home and try and watch the end.
Try to get the end. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, that's kind of true. To be fair, the Monday show is the only time that's better suited, which is why I preferred it. And it showed 7:00 my time, or sorry, 8:00 my time. So it must be 9:00 your time, Nova.
Yeah, it's 9 my time.
Yeah, it's so nice because like it's a nice time. You've come home from work, you've had your dinner, you've done whatever it is, and now you can sit down and enjoy the live chat and live stream with everybody and have a chat and watch it kind of like that you're not scratching your eyes because you're tired. Because on Thursday, it airs at midnight on Thursday night, Friday morning. So I presume that's 1:00 your time, Nova. So I don't know how you ever make those.
I don't anymore.
Yeah.
Since I switched off, like the job I had before this one, I could easily like get. I only would start work at noon, so I could easily watch the Thursday shows and just sleep in and go to work. But now it's like impossible for me to watch the Thursday shows and still be able to sleep enough to be functional at work.
Yeah. Because he had mentioned that before in like his. Troy had mentioned that before in the talk that he did in Dublin, where he was like, everyone else is like tuning in on a Monday at noon or whatever, and like the rest of the world in Europe is just like, oh my God, stay awake. So me and Eloise are always like, just stay awake, guys, just stay awake. Shout out to Eloise. Just stay awake, man. Like you can get through this, but it is hard. I usually don't ever stay for the full show. I would be up anyway at about 11, and I would go on, have the chats or whatever, try and get to maybe 12:00, like just before they air, and then I'm like, okay, guys, I'm out. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and I'll talk to you on like socials or whatever. Like I can't stay up for the full live show because it's gonna run into almost 1:00 in the morning, and I have work.
You know, the regular Thursday retro replay for me is perfectly timed because it's 7 p.m. my time. So I can do exactly what you do on the Monday show.
Yeah. See, that's why I was so like miffed about the Monday show being gone. I was like, no, come on now.
No. Same, definitely same. But on the other hand, I mean, it is good for them to have a bit of a break because it's like, to us, it feels like a constant thing, like that every week they're just sitting down to record. I do understand that they need a bit of a break once in a while.
100%. Of course they do. Wow, are we like 30 minutes into the show and I've only just said 100% now? I probably said it
I was going to say, you took that long to say 100%.
Yeah, right? Who had 30 minutes? Or whatever it is. So, like, yeah, I get that they need a break. I do get it. I understand their need for being, who they are. But at the same time, I have needs.
I need it.
Every European does.
And I want to, please, just let me have something on a Monday. But to be fair, what I'll do is I'll just run.
I need my fix.
Yeah, I need the fix, man. Just give me that retro replay fix. But it's okay. I'll go on socials or I'll watch the reruns. It's fine. I'll make my way through it. But we did get an episode this week of the Retro Replay show on Thursday at a very unreasonable hour for myself and Nova, but the perfect time for Dan, which was Echo the Dolphin. Hi, Echo. I would make it sound like a dolphin, but I would come across like an idiot.
I'm not even going to try.
It's so stupid, okay. Anyway, so Echo the Dolphin is an action-adventure game originally developed by Ed Anuziet. I can't pronounce his last name. Ed unpronounceable last name. And Nova Trade International for the Sega Genesis, known as the Mega Drive in regions outside of the North America. Yes, that's what we talked about before, because we know it as Mega Drive. But it was published by Sega in 1992. Echo the Dolphin was republished digitally via Nintendo's Virtual Console in 2006, Microsoft Xbox Live Arcade, Steam, iOS, and Nintendo 3DS. It is the first installment in the Echo the Dolphin video game franchise. The player character is a bottlenose dolphin who travels through time to combat hostile extraterrestrials in Earth's oceans and on an alien spacecraft. Right off the bat, I'm going to say two things. One, I've never played Echo the Dolphin. I didn't know that it was also re-released in 2006, nor would I have probably picked it up because no. And secondly, like, there's a lot to like, that was the first installment. There are more. There's a game franchise. It's the first installment in the Echo the Dolphin video game franchise. How is that?
There's 3 or 2. I know there was 2 for sure.
Like So at the beginning of the game, Echo's friends and marine life in his pod all get sucked up by an alien force. And now he's on a mission to find a time machine to travel back in time before they were sucked up and somehow combat the aliens. The premise for this game, as Troy and Nolan have said, is definitely likely that somebody was high and they just made a video game from it. They were like, this sounds great, while they were off their face on crazy mushrooms or something. But I'm going to come out there and say that I found this episode probably one of the least entertaining episodes they've ever done. Yeah. Yeah. I was really not into it at all. I didn't like the Echo the Dolphin stuff. They went on a whole bunch of tangents that were, I mean, somewhat interesting. They talked about time travel and where would you travel to and stuff. But I don't know. There was something about the vibe or something like that on the show that I just didn't like this week. I was a bit like, mwah, mwah. It just hit a low note for me. Do you guys like have a different opinion about that?
I mean, I had a similar opinion for not last week's episode, the one before that. Which one was it? I can't think of it, but there was the other episode we had a few weeks ago that was really kind of bummer and kind of sad. Was it Lion King? It might have been Lion King. I feel like it was kind of a bummer.
It was the mortality situation about being a father. Like,
that one to me felt kind of a little off.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I didn't find that episode a bummer or anything. I do wish that they did a bit more gameplay in that episode, because that game, like, we've been waiting for so long, and it is a great game. And it's difficult, and it's like memorable for childhood. I think we've spoken about this before on the podcast, where it was one of the only games that I've actually played that Retro Replay have played. So I was like, oh yes, nostalgia, like I can actually join in on this. And they played like 10 minutes gameplay, and I was like, why would you do this to me? And they started talking about mortality and being a dad and going through the will and stuff. Now, two things about that. Like, I don't think it was a bummer, but also I don't have any kids. So I can't really relate to anything that they were talking about, although I do kind of like, I relate, what's the word? Like, I empathize, I sympathize with that. Yeah, I guess I just didn't have much luck in that episode, nor in this one. I just didn't really feel the vibe for this one.
How about you, Nova?
Yeah, what about you, Nova?
Well, I think in general, I mean, I think this is more like an in general unpopular opinion of things.
Sure.
I mean, I love Retro Replay, obviously, but I do think that they should pay a little more attention to gameplay than the tangents. I mean, I love the tangents that they do. Some of them are a bit like, yeah, no, just not for me, because I can't relate to it, or I can't, you know. But I do think that they should do a little bit more gameplay, show a little bit more gameplay than they do recently.
I do think that they did a lot more of it before.
Yeah, they do. I mean, I don't mind the tangents. I love the tangents because it kind of gives us an insight on their personalities behind the camera, so to speak. But yeah, I do think that they should pay a little more attention to the gameplay, so that we can really see, like, okay, this is what the game is about. This is how the mechanics work. This is, you know, so that we just basically get a better understanding of what the game is. As for Echo the Dolphin, I have no idea what a franchise is about. I've never played it before. So, especially in this case, like a lot of games that they've played recently, across the year, basically. I don't really know much about because I've never played those because I got into the gaming scene way later. Yeah, no, they should pay more attention to the gameplay, in my opinion. It's probably an unpopular opinion, but
that's interesting. Yeah, do you know, I do think that might actually be, well, I don't know if it's a popular opinion, but it would be, I think a lot of people would echo that opinion. But at the same time, guys, I didn't even do that. I didn't even do that on purpose. I'm such a good host.
Someone's going to take over the Pun King's title at this rate.
Yeah, someone has got to fill in for Greg. I think a lot of people would say the same, but like they're not a let's play. They're not focusing on gameplay. Like what they're about is the hang, and I do get that. It's just that the hang this week I didn't feel much of. I don't know if it just wasn't like entertaining. I'm not like dance, monkey dance. I just wanted, I don't know. I found it just was one of their weaker episodes. Maybe it's because of the game, the actual game itself. I had no interest in. So that might have just put me off, put me in a mood or whatever. And I'm like, nah. Because then they started talking about like time travel and where would you go, which is a really interesting conversation. But I feel like it could have been explored a little bit more. Or like, do you believe in extraterrestrial life out there? Like that could have been touched on a bit more. Like there is parts where it was just missing, I think.
I think it maybe all depends on the game they're playing too, and the energy that they get from that. If they're having a lot of fun with the game, you can tell that they just kind of get sucked into the game and they get silly and they focus on the game. But if the game is just kind of like, okay, you know, this is interesting, but let's talk about other things, and they go on their tangents.
Yeah.
There was even a point in the episode too where Nolan was starting to talk about the game again, and Troy redirected him. He said, "No, let's talk about the time travel."
Yeah,
which
I feel like because maybe they just weren't enjoying the game.
I mean, I think they were enjoying it, but I feel like also because Echo is, it's not as like the silly fun like they've had with other games in the past where they get really goofy and silly with it.
Yeah, I would agree.
And then they try to make up for that by giving us stories and tangents, because the game itself may or may not be as interesting to them, at least.
I feel you. I was just really bored watching it.
Well, again, it's
and I love watching them.
Not to take anything away from them, and I know Troy's stand on the show, and he said it actually in Wayne's podcast. Shout out to Wayne and his podcast, the Pubcast.
The Pubcast, yeah.
When he was on that show, they talked about that, and Troy specifically stated that he doesn't want their show to be about the game, because it's like you said, Nova, it's not a let's play. It's not them playing a game and doing voices. It's about you. Like he said in his interview, he said you come for the game, but you stay for the stories. And I think that's
stay for the hang.
I think that's a big part of it, but we also we get different energies with each episode.
I
mean,
I feel like I think Ninja Gaiden was probably one of my favorites, or Sunset Riders. Like I really related to all that. Like I loved all of those games.
I actually really liked Dragon's Lair. I thought that was a great episode.
That was an awesome.
It was a good episode. Yeah. I was gonna say it, but I'm not gonna say it. I agree. I'm trying to keep the 100% out of the podcast.
Do it. It's your catchphrase.
It's my catchphrase. 100%.
For sure.
Stupid catchphrase. For sure. That's your catchphrase.
For sure.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like they've had more fun on other episodes, so I was more into other episodes. But you know what I mean. Like,
if nothing
didn't
else,
they just have like a Comic-Con that they went to the week before?
I was just about to say something. Yeah, I was going to say they've just come back from San Diego Comic-Con, which I'm sure was huge and like so full of energy, and they did it on the spot with Rooster Teeth, and they did quite a lot with like fans and talks and everything. So I'm pretty sure like the energy was low anyway. But like it's not a critique on their performance as entertainers. Like it's not like I'm being like, that was a shit episode, give me another. Like I would like another episode and I'd like it to be better. It's not at all a critique like that. It's more just like I didn't particularly enjoy this episode, and I'm not afraid to say that. Like it was probably one of my least favorite episodes. I have better episodes that I enjoyed, like Sunset Riders or Ninja Gaiden. But yeah, like I just felt a bit like, wah.
Wah,
Definitely. Like there was definitely no energy about it. Like usually, like if I want to make tea, my kettle will boil, and I'll go and make tea, and I'll press pause. Whereas a lot of this one, I was like, do I need to press pause on this? Like, can I just get my cup of tea? Like, am I really gonna miss like a massive tangent and stuff? Because they were talking about, I guess they're talking less about themselves in the past tense. Like it wasn't a previous story about themselves. It's more like a what if scenario. And it was really interesting. It's a really insightful piece of information to know what somebody would do with a return pass on a travel machine. And I really did connect well with when Nolan was talking about like going to hang with his grandfather.
Yeah.
Which was so sweet. Like I wanted to cry. I was like, oh man, that's so sweet. Like he would just go and hang out with his grandfather at a Red Sox game and just be like some guy he's met in a pub and just be there with him. I think that's so cool. And I think I do also like that Troy would go to a moment in his own life when it's difficult and just be like, yo, man, it's going to be okay. Like, it's all going to be good. Like, it's going to work out for you. I get that. I did relate to it, but I don't know. I don't know, guys.
Maybe what you're missing is some of the context of the game that Troy usually gives, because even he stated that he can't remember playing that game. And he said, even if I did play it, I was probably high.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, if it helps, I can give you a little context for myself, because I did play that game as a kid. Yeah. And that was the thing that Troy usually does that we didn't really get with this episode, because
I'll get what I need content-wise from you, Dan. You go ahead.
I got you. I hook you up.
Got me. Thanks.
Because I played this game when I was a kid, and it was with a friend of mine. His name was Angelo Cacciati. He was from a very, very Italian family. And I just have this distinct memory in my head of we went to his grandparents' house, oddly enough, grandparents, and there was a Genesis there, and we were playing Sonic 2, I think, and Echo the Dolphin. And it was the first time I'd ever played this game. And I can tell you right now, flat out, when I was a kid playing the game, I didn't know anything about the concept. I didn't understand any of the premise. I didn't know the game had aliens or time travel in it until, Thursday's episode. Because when I played it as a kid, I was like, oh, you can swim fast, you can jump out of the water, and you can do flips. And that's all we did. That's literally all we did. Flip. Like, yay, flips, woo!
Woo! Oh, wow.
Pretty much all we did was just do flips and just be kids and enjoy it, because I didn't know what else to do in the game.
I don't know. Well, I mean, I've never played it, so I don't know. It doesn't look like a game I would be interested in, to be fair.
Me neither.
I wouldn't just pick it up on a Nintendo 3DS when it was re-released in 2006 and be like, oh yeah, this is great. Let me just download this and play this for hours. This looks terrible.
I'm actually curious to play it now, because I feel like I'd get more into it now as an adult than I did when I was a kid.
Yeah, probably, actually. Because now you would understand the whole hostile extraterrestrial plot. Like, so stupid. Like, definitely agree with what Troy said, and that someone got high and made a video game. Like, that's, yep.
As far as I knew, it's just like, this is a dolphin game. You're just a dolphin. That's it. You just come around and be a dolphin.
But can we just appreciate one thing? The person who greenlighted this game being made and published, they also had to be high.
Yeah. You know what? No, but that's a really good point. Like, I always think about, when you go and see a movie, or likewise this game, and or you see an advert or something is in the public forum, and you see it and you're like, my God, that is terrible. But you know what? Not only did the person who created that have a terrible idea, but they had to pitch that to a room full of other people who all then went, oh yeah, that's fine. Let's do that. So I can totally understand that, no, but like this game was come up with, and like the guy is in the room and he was like, all right, guys, I've made a game about dolphins. And everyone was like, oh, here we go. I mean, and then the other half of the room is like, dolphins, I'm intrigued. And then all of a sudden he's like, it's not just about swimming fast and it's not just about somersaulting, but we're going to throw in aliens. And someone else just went, excellent, genius, write it off. I'm going to publish it. Let's go.
There's $1 million. Go make it now.
Yeah. To be fair, there is a shark RPG game in development right now, and you play the whole game as a shark. And it looks ridiculous, and it looks super fun.
That's like Goat Simulator.
I've been on the waiting list for that shark game for probably 2 years now. and I can't wait
to
play it. It looks super fun.
You some secret shark nerd that we didn't know about?
I don't know if it's a secret.
Sharks are your jam.
I love Shark Week, and this shark game looks super dope.
Oh man. I mean, do you know what? I have met more people in my adult life that love sharks, like literally have an obsession over sharks than I've ever met in my life. Like as kids and everything, I could understand people being like, "Ooh, sharks." I grew up in South Africa, so like we would go to the shark board in.
There's also a cat simulator. Oh my god, there's a cat simulator game in development.
I want that.
Firstly, I will have that. I will have the cat simulator game. But but the shark thing, like I mean, I lived in South Africa. We would go down to the shark board in Durban, and we would see like so the shark board was almost like a research and preservation center for sharks, and it's pretty cool actually. I don't know if this is anybody's jam, but anyway, it was a research center, and what they would do is they would capture like the dead sharks, like they would monitor pods and things like that, and then they would, if one of them died, they would bring them in for like an autopsy, and to sort of see what happened, and to kind of assess the health of a shark and to do more research. Okay. I don't know how many people agree with that, but I thought that was pretty cool. Like it was just a research center, and it like they did actively help the preservation of sharks. They wouldn't go and kill these sharks for like fun, but they would go and help with the research. But if you go to this shark board in KwaZulu-Natal or Durban or where the hell it was, if you go to the shark board, you can watch the autopsies. And I did. I've seen a couple of autopsies on sharks. They are not great white sharks or anything. They're more like blackfin sharks or smaller, I guess, species sharks. But they're like, I mean, I say smaller. I just mean smaller than a great white. It's not 7-8 feet long or anything. It's more probably like 4 foot, 5 foot long sharks. And they have this massive autopsy table, and they do a live autopsy, and they reveal the contents of the stomach, and they'll show you where the liver is, and they'll do a full, I guess, autopsy, and you'll get a full anatomy lesson on sharks. So I have seen many a shark autopsy by going to those places, and they were so fascinating, and I remember so vividly like going into the reception area, because the reception area is full of like shark memorabilia and teeth and stuff. But also there were several surfboards which have had shark bites out of them. And these are all real life stories, real events or whatever. You can go up and check them out, and like they'll have the story next to it of who they were and if they survived, or usually a lot of it is all like happier stories. They're all like people were fine. They just got the board rather than they got the diver or the surfer or anything. But super, super interesting. So any of you Shark Week nerds out there listening, and Dan, feel free to go down to Shark Board in South Africa, where you'll see live shark autopsies.
I would love to see something like that. Not gonna lie.
Somebody once had, I wasn't at that autopsy, but they had found, I think it was a license plate, a car license plate, in the stomach of one of the sharks.
Will eat anything.
They
will.
But super fascinating stuff. So I can kind of get the appeal of a. Did you say it's a VR game?
What, the one I was talking about?
Yeah.
No, it's like a 3D action adventure, like Grand Theft Auto almost, but with a shark.
Oh, still, I see the appeal.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if it was legit like Grand Theft Auto? Like you're going around like.
I'll show you. It looks freaking awesome. I've shared a link in the Discord actually for it.
Oh my God.
I've got this really weird mental image now of a shark running up to a car. Get out of the car! Get out of the car! With a gun in its fin.
I'm the same. Or driving the cars to like the tippity top of the mountain and like fall, like just absolutely driving off the edge, playing with the physics. Yeah. That's all I did in that game. I don't think I've ever completed a GTA game. That's all we did was mess with the physics.
Like a shark riding a bike down the hill until he falls off and goes rolling down the hill.
Or a shark trying to do as much bad shit as he can.
Oh, so getting his wanted level up.
Stars, get the wanted level up so that like eventually people with tanks and everything are going after the shark. Like,
people just going.
That's definitely where my mind's going.
I'm sure there's a mod for GTA 5 of that. There's mods of everything in GTA 5.
It'd be so funny. Make it one of the sharks from Street Shark, because then it would make sense because they have legs.
They did have legs.
They did have legs. There was some creepy animations. When you look
Side
back
note,
on them,
we were
like,
talking about that show before the podcast recorded.
yeah. Oh, the Street Sharks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. I thought that we mentioned it here in this podcast. Oh yeah. Sorry, everybody who's listening. We were talking about Street Sharks before everything started and kicked off with the podcast. Street Sharks, Biker Mice from Mars, and any other
classic '90s cartoons.
Random classic '90s cartoons.
I remember one, but I can't remember the title. It was two cats in a fighter jet, like a F-16.
SWAT Cats.
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah, I love that show. It was one of my favorite shows as a kid.
Mine as well.
What was it called?
SWAT Cats.
SWAT Cats?
Yeah, SWAT Cats and Pirates of Dark Water.
That's hilarious. No, I've never heard of that. I remember
Dark
Top
Water
Cat.
was a good one.
Top Cat, I remember that one as
well.
well.
SWAT Cats was an action cartoon.
SWAT Cats.
Yeah.
I don't remember much about SWAT Cats, but I remember very distinctly those two cats in a fighter jet.
Mm-hmm. That was
I feel like SWAT Cats and Biker Mice from Mars should do a collab.
They probably did, or at least they were from the same studio.
Oh my God, really? Did anybody remember the Animaniacs?
Oh, hell yeah.
And I loved that show as a kid. Oh!
Easily one of my favorite shows.
You've never seen it, Nova?
No.
I
watched a lot of cartoon. Oh, Pinky, I know that one. I watched a lot of Cartoon Network when I was growing up, so...
Pinky and the Brain were part of the Animaniacs network, but then there was Yakko, Wacko, and Dot, and they were just...
I had something else in my... I know those. Yeah, I know those.
They were mice, right? They were... Yeah, I think they were...
Pinky and the Brain were mice or rats.
Yeah, but like, what were Yakko, Wacko, and Dot?
I always thought they were some kind of dog.
Cats or dogs. Like, they were like Mickey Mouse kind of playoffs.
Yeah, they were all bad. They were so funny.
They were supposed to be dogs because they had kind of droopy, floppy ears.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the noses of them kind of remind me of dogs as well.
Man, that's so funny. Or the Good Feathers. Did anybody remember the Good Feathers?
God, I love the Good Feathers.
No idea.
Best. So
every
they had
episode had the play on the Joe Pesci thing.
Yeah.
What am I, funny looking to you? You think I'm funny?
Yeah. Yeah. Funny how? Funny like a clown? Funny I amuse you? If we had that snippet, that'd be great. Pop that in there, Dan.
Drew, where are you, Drew? We need a cutaway.
Yeah, we need Drew to come work on the podcast.
One of these days I'll start doing cutaways.
Yeah. The Good Feathers were pigeons in the Animaniacs series that were playing off the Goodfellas as gangsters, New York gangsters, these pigeons. Oh man, they're so funny.
That sounds like a show I would have been really into.
Yeah. Oh man, it was a good show. No, even if you go back and watch it now, like the adult jokes in that are just worth it. Go and see it. It's a very good show.
I'll see if I can find it somewhere.
Oh, you should definitely have a look at it. Let's see. What else did I watch as a kid? Do you know what I watched? I don't know if you guys ever saw this, but did you ever watch a TV show? I think it was the same studio as Animaniacs, but it was Freakazoid.
We've talked about Freakazoid. I was just thinking that.
Did we talk about Freakazoid on a podcast?
No, but me and you have talked about Freakazoid. It was one of the first conversations we had when we met each other. We brought up Freakazoid.
My God, Nova's fallen over.
No.
She was so scared of Freakazoid that she just fell over.
So sorry, you guys. That was my cat messing around.
Oh, no.
He jumps. For the record, I don't know if you can leave the thing, but
Troy the cat.
Yeah, I've called my cat Troy because he's got that same kind of personality. I'm sitting in
he's got the same
my bedroom.
Personality as Troy.
Sort of. He's kind of cheeky, kind of sweet in a way as well.
You know what? I just imagined your cat with like a mohawk.
That's how I was picturing it too. That he had the flop. I was about to ask too. Does he have the hair?
Either that or he's in a hat. Is he like sitting in a hat all the time? Like, is that what he looks like?
I could put a hat on him, definitely.
Put a hat on him.
He's got a fedora.
I'm so sorry about that sign, you guys. If you want to cut that out, go ahead.
No, I'm kidding. It's hilarious. I'm keeping that in.
So what happened was, I'm sitting in my bedroom and the door is open right now, and so the cats can come in and out because they're allowed to go everywhere. He jumped against the door and slammed against the wall, and it scared the shit out of me because I just saw a brown and black flash shooting by. It's like this is a kind of horror game jump scare. That's basically what I'm
That would be the kind of jump scare that would make me poop my pants. Like, I don't do horror, as we've previously
The best thing is, he's now looking at me like, why are you afraid of me? Why? I was like,
why, what's wrong? What's there to be scared of? I don't know. Do you know what? That's a trait in horses. Like, I used to be so scared of horses, and somebody told me once, they're like, the reason horses don't react well to you is because you're scared of them. And I was like, yeah, well, they don't know. And they're like, yeah, they do. They can sense your heart rate.
Fear.
No, I mean, technically they kind of do, Dan. Like they can sense your heartbeat, right? And because you're scared, it's elevated. So they're now scared because they're like, well, what the hell is she scared of? I need to be scared of it too. Yeah.
That's actually true facts. I've worked with horses. That is true. It's all true.
It's so scary. Like, I didn't realize. And then I was like, oh, so they're just scared of, like, they're not scared of me. They're scared of whatever I'm scared of. And they're like, yeah, they think that there's something wrong with you because you're scared. And I was like, oh, okay, I should calm down.
That's a funny story about horses, actually. I kind of believe that horses can kind of sense a person's personality as well. Cause
oh, I agree.
I did an internship at a horse farm, like a breeder's, and I was standing against the inner riding pens, and we let the stallion roam around there because obviously he can't go with the rest of the herds. Although you know what happens then.
Sure.
I was standing against it, and he came across my shoulder with his head, and he just kind of leaned on my shoulder with his head. And my teacher was there as well because she was seeing how I was doing at the job and all that kind of thing. She reaches out to the horse to pet him, and he just instantly drew back like, hell no, you're not touching me.
Yeah.
And that teacher was, like, personality-wise, she was a right old bat. To keep it clean. Like, she was not a nice person at all. So I do firmly believe that horses and any animal basically can kind of sense...
Don't mind that. That's just a notification.
I firmly believe that animals in any kind of way can sort of sense a person's personality and kind of know which ones to stay away from.
Yeah. To be fair, I think horses are really intuitive like that. Like, did you ever, have you seen, why can't I think of the name of the film? The Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
That, like,
the whole
as
series?
if it was some sort of, as if it was some sort of independent film I couldn't think of the name of. You know that indie film, that small indie film? You may have missed it. It was the Lord of the Rings trilogy. That thing. Yeah, but one of the actors, Viggo Mortensen, actually bought the horse that he was playing with because, he spent so much time with the horse and, like, actually slept in the stable with the horse and stuff. So I think, like, there really is a connection. There's a deeper connection for horses.
Yeah. But he also bought the horse for, I think, one of the stunt riders.
That's like, right. Yeah. For
she couldn't afford the stunt horse, but and he bought the horse for her.
Yeah, the Arwen stunty.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's so cute. Like, I would love to work on a project where somebody buys me a horse.
Me too, definitely.
Like, you did it. Yeah, you did a great job. Here's a horse. Oh, thanks. Like,
thanks, mister.
Brilliant.
But it was the same kind of thing, I think, because that stunt rider got such a connection with the horse that was a stunt double that she really wanted to buy it at the end of the production, but she couldn't afford it. So he just bought it for her because he had the same kind of connection with his horse as Aragorn, basically.
Mm-hmm. I just think, like, the horses are super intelligent, emotional beings that I'm still terrified of. So I don't actually interact with a lot of horses. They're big and they're scary and they can kick me and kill me literally in one go. So terrifying. So I don't do that. So look, to be fair, we're coming up on like an hour now. We've gone on so many tangents. But before we wrap it up, what have you been playing, Nova? Like, have you been playing any good games or?
I've been mostly playing multiplayers with friends. I was earlier was playing the Uncharted 4 multiplayer with Nix. I've played Red Dead Redemption and multiplayer mostly, and that's pretty much it. And standard World of Warcraft, basically.
You do Red Dead Redemption 2?
Yeah, the online version with a couple of friends. With
Red Dead
mostly
Redemption
it's Blade and mostly Blade, Xiaomi, Brits is there as well. Mitch,
friends of the show.
Friends of the show.
Xiaomi and Brits.
Shout out.
Earlier I was playing Uncharted multiplayer with Nix as well, so that's mostly what I've been doing.
I have got to get on this because I have Uncharted 4, but I've never played the online survival.
We've been playing that a lot, actually. I was just gonna say I've been playing with Nix and Wendy. Well, you're never go to bed.
Yeah, it's true. Because I have a job and I have to like actually get up in the morning and like drive an hour and a bit to get.
Do.
No, but I share an office with HR, so they'll notice if I start falling asleep at the desk. Also, I like sleep. Sleep's my friend. Sleep is good. I like sleep. Are you playing any campaign games? Yeah, I'll sleep when I'm dead. Are you playing any campaign games or anything, Nova? Like other than like your online multiplayer games? Like, are you playing any story-driven games? Did I miss that?
No, not at the moment. I'm intending to get back into Resident Evil 2, at least attempts before I poop my pants. I'll need to borrow my brown pants for that one, I think.
Definitely wear some brown pants. Buy multiples.
I will. I'm definitely also thinking about looking into Far Cry 5 because that's on sale on the PlayStation Store right now.
That's all Nick talks about.
And she's infecting me with it. Let's just say it that. Like she's infecting me with the talk about John Seed. So it's like
Far Cry before?
I've played the fourth one with Troy in it, but the one thing that really bugged me about that one was the controls for the vehicles. It's like that made me stop because it's such, as far as I got it, like it's such a big map, and you have to have a vehicle sometimes to move around, and the controls were really crap for the vehicles, at least in my experience, because I only played it like an hour or so.
I've never played any of the Far Cries.
No.
I will. Full disclosure,
Are they good?
I only bought the fourth one on sale because Troy is in it and Travis Willingham. Full disclosure. I wanted to see what they did with the characters. So.
Just admit it. It's fine. I've never played a Far Cry game. I really want to.
Far Cry 3 is the best one, in my opinion.
Oh, really?
But I haven't played 5, to be fair.
Do I need to play 1 and 2 though to get Far Cry 5? Like, do we need to
start with 3? 3 is where they really kind of reinvented the whole franchise, and it got good. The first 2 games were their own thing. They're not bad. They're worth maybe giving a shot. But 3 was the first one where they incorporated a lot of the systems that are still very present in the game series, and that's where it really took off with Far Cry 3. Because when that game first came out, I remember being like, Far Cry's okay. But then as I saw footage and gameplay, I was like, whoa, this is different. Like, they're doing something new with this.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Like, I've never played it. I did ask recently on a Twitch stream because I was going to play BioShock. Good. I can't.
I have to.
I mean, I'd give it a go. I mean, I did ask to see like what games people would suggest I play because I was kind of stumped for another game. So it was between Far Cry and Skyrim and Witcher 3.
All very large open world games that take a lot of time.
Long games.
Skyrim is addicting.
Yeah, which, I mean, to be fair, I think might be a good idea for Twitch because people really get into it over a long period of time. But then if they are there for the story, then I suppose you want to play shorter games.
If you want to have a game with really funny moments, you should go for Skyrim because it's got so many glitches that are so hilarious.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I actually stopped playing Skyrim after I think it was a frost troll punched me into the ground and I bounced into the sky and never stopped flying.
What?
Yeah.
Those are the kinds of
eternally flying.
Yeah, literally,
still
like
there,
I ran into a frost troll, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, if that's what it's called. Basically a big snowman, like an abominable snowman. And I was like, "What's this thing?" And he punched me, and I just bounced into the sky and just flew infinitely.
Infinitely into he's still going.
Yeah, I just like, all right, well, I'm gonna stop playing now.
Those are the kinds of glitches that happen that are just the funniest thing ever if you come across them. They're annoying if you're playing in the moment, but thinking back on them, they're just hilarious.
Yeah. I don't know. I played a little bit of Oblivion. Like way back. Just way back. But yeah, I mean, I would be interested in trying out maybe Witcher 3.
Witcher is super good.
But is it like, do I need to play the first 2 games as well?
No.
Okay, well, that's all right.
Witcher 3 stands on its own, and it's a much better game as far as the way it plays and the functionality. I think Witcher 1 was good, but it was still when CD Projekt Red first started, so I think it's only available on PC too. And then Witcher 2, I wasn't a big fan of the combat and the gameplay, and then 3, they really nailed it.
Huh. Yeah, well, I think I might give that a go. Let's see what's going on.
For sure.
But is there anything? Yeah, for
sure.
100%. What are you playing anything different now? Dan, are you playing anything different?
I've been playing a lot of Uncharted this past week, much like
Yeah.
Nova. Playing I started playing the Lost Legacy, obviously. That's new
So
for
good.
me.
Such a good game.
Yeah,
It's
such a
completely
great game.
new for me. I have never played it before. So I haven't gotten too far, but I have been streaming that, and it's awesome so far, of course.
Are you gonna do the whole game streamed for your charity?
That's the hope. I want to try and do the whole game. Yeah, I haven't played it off stream yet, so I'm keeping it to the stream.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. It's a great game.
It really is.
So good. I really enjoy the announcement of that game because those are two characters that I really wanted to know more about. So when they announced that they were going to do a full game by just those two, it was amazing. And then obviously Sam Drake comes into it and you're like, oh, this game could not get any better. This is awesome. Spoilers.
I honestly don't know anything that happens in that game.
I want to comment so bad on the
wait a minute, like you didn't know?
I know nothing about what happens in that game.
Oh shit, man! I'm sorry. I didn't mean to spoil anything for you. But to be fair,
I mean, it's not that big of a deal. I'll survive.
To be fair, like it's actually not that big of a deal. And when it's entered, you're like, oh, it's not made a big deal.
I want to say something so bad about a game, why I love it so much, but obviously it's a spoiler, so I can't.
Yeah,
so it's
man.
Spoilers.
Shoot, I'm so sorry. Well,
that's okay.
It is a good game though, and I was super pumped about it because it was not only one female protagonist, but now there was two female protagonists, and you're gonna go on the story, and it's awesome.
It's really good.
It's awesome. That whole game, like you're gonna really enjoy it, I think.
Yeah, I've been enjoying it so far, and I actually think it's nice to have a different protagonist, having a lead female character in the role of an Uncharted game, and it kind of opens things up from the 5 games prior to that with Nathan. And you only played as Nathan in all the other games.
That's true. That is true.
This is the first Uncharted game where you play as a different character, actually.
Yeah.
What I kind of love most about Lost Legacy, though, like Chloe is much like Nate. She's very, average, very plain in a way. Like she's not this big superhero Lara Croft style protagonist. She has her own set of flaws. She has her own set of strength, and it's like she's a very normal, everyday person, like Nate is basically. That's what I love the most about Lost Legacy, like that she's not this
being able to climb any given surface.
Yeah. That is their superpower.
Like
she's not like a Lara Croft like character. That's why I love Lost Legacy so badly, because it's just a normal person stuck in that situation, so to speak.
Yeah, it's like it's their adventures, and like they've obviously trained for it. This is what they do, but they're not superheroes. They're not like anything, and they can't climb on every surface, Dan. It's only the yellow ones that they can climb.
Actually, it's the white ones in Lost Legacy, I think.
Oh, sorry, it's white in Lost
mostly
Legacy.
White across the series.
Take it back. Except for the first one. The first one's yellow.
It was white with yellow pipes.
No. Uncharted 3 was yellow. That was mostly yellow. The
that was mostly yellow, and I think in Troy's one and The Last of Us, that's yellow. Yeah, because of all the tape. It was like police tape and stuff like that. That usually would guide you. So it's usually a yellow or white object that they can climb. It was really funny. Like myself and Scaldy Panda were in the pub the other day, and we were sitting. I should have taken a photo, but we were sitting next to a brick wall. And then in the middle of this brick wall, there was like a layer of bricks that were slightly yellower as the pattern to like as a cross. And then it was by the window, and this like yellower brick was surrounding the window. And I was like, I feel like you're going to go to the bathroom, and when you come back, I'm just going to be attached to the wall, like climbing these yellow bricks. And I was like, I couldn't help myself. It's a prompt.
If video games have taught me anything, this is where you climb.
This is definitely where you climb. I need to find the treasure.
There's treasure up there.
Treasure.
I wasn't even like drinking. Like it would be funnier if I'd like been 6 pints of Guinness in and be like, treasure! We need to find it.
Now that you mentioned the pub, that reminds me, I was gonna say that with the retro replay episodes, especially the timing for me being at 7 p.m., I've made it a kind of like a routine where I have a pint of Guinness now when I watch the show.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, come to Ireland, taste real Guinness. It's like
I'm sure it's delicious.
I bet Troy Nolan would be proud to hear that they've inspired people to grab a Guinness during their show.
Yeah, I actually do think you're right. I think they'd feel like a little sense of pride. They'd be like, oh, oh, Dan.
I've never had a Guinness.
Have you not?
No.
We will introduce you. Come over to the dark side, Noah. You're only across the pond. Like, come on over.
It was actually a friend of mine introduced me to Guinness like 10 years ago, and I've enjoyed it for a number of years, but I haven't drank it in a while. So it's actually kind of like it brought me back.
Yeah, it's not my selective drink. Like, I don't go out and be like, yeah, I'm just gonna have a pint of Guinness. I've had a glass of Guinness before. I don't think I've managed to finish a full pint. They're very heavy. I find stout is like so heavy and just makes you full all the time.
I'm finding them a lot easier to drink and much more enjoyable now that I've had them in a chilled mug. Like, it makes a world of difference to have it in a chilled mug.
Oh yeah, you need to have them chilled. But I don't know, like it's not my drink of choice. I'm definitely more of a craft beer person. Like, I like the fruity flavored beers. I like the passion fruit kind of beers and that kind of stuff. Like, I'm a light beer person. But I did enjoy.
Wow, you're such a Valley girl.
Guinness. I know, such a Valley girl. Are they not wine people?
Oh, like the basic white bitch kind of thing. Like,
basic
give me my
white
fruity
bitch.
beers.
No, basic white bitches are probably going to be like, I just need a cooler, like a spritzer.
IPAs are so big in America now. I hate it.
What is wrong with you? IPAs are so nice.
I hate IPAs.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about. I don't drink that much.
Yeah, it's kind of showing us how much alcoholics are we. IPAs are better than your stouts. I really enjoy IPAs, and there are some really in Wexford we have
bitter beer face.
Bitter beer face is fine with me. I'm good. But to be fair, we have a brewery here in Wexford called Simon Lambert's Pub.
Isn't all Ireland just breweries?
Yeah, every single pub just brews their own, and every household brews their own poutine. So it's all right. No, it's Simon Lambert's Pub, and they brew Yellow Belly beer, and it is just amazing stuff. And their marketing is fantastic, and shout out to Yellow Belly Beer. If you want to sponsor this episode, please let me know.
Sponsor.
Send me some cans.
We'll get Guinness for a sponsor.
Yeah, Guinness or Yellow Belly. I'll go with Yellow Belly over Guinness, no problem. But when you come over, Dan, we'll go to Yellow Belly, and we'll go to Simon Lambert's and we'll have Yellow Belly Beer because it's unreal. Yes. Unreal. But I do enjoy their IPAs. They're very, very good. All right. Well, I think we've digressed quite a lot. We've got a lot of tangents in there. We covered probably about 10 minutes of the Retro Replay show, which is fine, as per usual. Dan, you're on socials. Where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Twitter at StarkEVash. That's Stark Y Vash.
Starky.
I.e. Starky. It's my cute version. And then Stark Evil Vash everywhere else. Dark Evil Vash on Xbox, PlayStation, Instagram, pretty much everything. Twitch, yep, Twitch and Mixer, all those places. I will be streaming. And you're doing. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna try and plug your stream, but you can plug your own stream. Dan is streaming for a charitable cause, and he will be playing the Lost Legacy Uncharted game and running a live donation for a charity to fuck cancer. But yeah, how often do you stream?
So aggressive.
When do we stream? Fuck
to fuck cancer.
Yeah. Well, nobody's gonna be like, oh yeah, fuck cancer.
I'm just enjoying listening to you guys. That's all I'm doing, basically.
Good.
This is like a different version of Retro Replay. It feels like just listening to tangents.
That's what we're here for, Nova.
Yeah. We say we're a show about video games, but we just tangent.
And you guys do it so well. It's such a joy to listen to you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nova. I can't believe she listens to the podcast. It's awesome. We have one viewer.
We just lost that one subscriber.
Yeah, that one subscriber. Now that she's been on here, that's it. She's not gonna listen ever again.
Well, I'm open to bribes. Not gonna lie.
You want to sponsor the podcast, Nova? If you like us that much. No, just kidding. Send us a can of beer. Dan, your Lost Legacy streams. Are you streaming? Do you have a streaming schedule?
Not necessarily. Things are too wonky for me to have a set schedule, but I'm trying to do them at least once a week. And if anybody wants to check me out on Twitch and or Mixer, I do have links set up on the website for donating directly through there or to the Facebook fundraiser that I started for Fuck Cancer. Fuck cancer.
Yeah, aggression.
Fuck it.
Fuck cancer.
We've done so well without swearing throughout the whole podcast, and then it just came to the last 5 minutes, and we're like, "Fuck!"
Oh yeah, this is supposed to be a PG podcast, isn't it?
Nah, it's all right. It's all right. No one listens to it that is like under the age of 13, surely.
Yeah, but I might need to change some settings when I upload
it. Fair enough. Just be like PG-14, PG-13, right? Because 13 people can swear.
PG-13, you get one F-bomb, which we've already gone past.
We've got one? Really? That's it?
PG-13 movies can only do one F-bomb.
So what are we now? PG-18?
We're R.
Oh,
you're instantly R if you have more than one F-bomb.
Okay, we'll just rate it R then. That's fine. People might think that might be more interesting than it is. They'll be like, "Oh, an R-rated podcast. Let me listen." They'll be like 2 fuck bombs at the end.
It's the Deadpool podcast.
Yeah. That's cool. Listen, I've been your host, Pagan, and you can find me on social medias at pagan_plays. That's on Twitter and Instagram and on Twitch. I'm streaming every Friday night, and we're playing Layers of Fear. For God knows what reason do I torture myself. But we're playing that, and bring your brown pants. Yeah, people seem to find it funny when I freak out. Like I genuinely don't find it that amusing. Like I am literally scared. Like I am just sweating buckets.
Yeah, but it gets you views.
It does get me views. It gets me views from a lot of our family here on the Replayer podcast, which is really nice. Yeah, so I'm on those socials, I guess, and like I said, I am currently streaming every Friday for the Layers of Fear. We're only a couple chapters to go, so I will start playing another game, yet to be determined, in a few weeks' time, but it will be hopefully every Friday, potential for every Sunday morning as well, but mostly every Friday. Nova, you are a wonderful person. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here, and it's been such a pleasure to have you on the podcast, and I'm so glad you listened to the podcast. Keep listening, by the way. We need the views.
I'll listen. I'll listen to
glad you like
crap out of every single one of them.
Oh, thanks, girl. Thank you so much. Everybody else, you can catch us on iTunes, YouTube, and SoundCloud, and we hope you enjoyed the podcast. If you'd like to hear more from us, please go ahead and like, subscribe, rate, review, and pop some comments in the comment box. If you have any suggestions or questions, please feel free to pop us an email at thereplayerpodcast@gmail.com. Also, shout out, we still have the special episodes up on YouTube where we're talking to MCM Manchester Comic-Con people or replayers that actually were there and met Troy and Nolan. If you want to hear more about that, have a look at our YouTube channel. It's the Replayer Podcast. Being a host is hard.
Get it out. Shake it out.
Breathe. Yeah. Woo!
You make it seem so easy, though.
Thanks.
She's like, yeah.
Like, what? I paid her to say that. I bribed her to say it.
Yeah, they're paying me in chocolate.
Yeah, right. So thanks so much, Nova. Thanks for being a part of it. Thank you guys for listening. And until next time, folks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.